Shalom. First and foremost, want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, GMS that rule well. Peace, love, and salutations to all the brothers out there pushing his word of sincerity and the truth. Shalom to the brothers, sisters, and children out there keeping his word of sincerity and the truth. Okay, I don't know what's going on with my phone, but I had to re-record the introduction because for whatever reason, on the actual recording, it skips to me starting to read the article, but just had to redo the recording. But this is going into a lesson going into how the kingdom of heaven, we're not going to go through these troubles and the pain that we have to endure on this side. You know, the things that we go through, Jake in general, the Israelites go through, and I'm go into this article about this recent story that I have been watching or monitoring for the past couple of days, because it was actually, strange hearing about two young girls found dead in two suitcases, and now more information that came out. So it's going to skip to the next video. So Lord willing, it's edifying. Spoke with a man who claims he is the father of one of the two little girls found dead and buried in suitcases in Cleveland. Deshaun Chapman shared that he was overcome with grief and anger as he came to terms with the terrible truth that his 8-year-old girl, Mila Chapman, is dead. It says Deshaun Chapman shared, it says the same thing. So that's the picture. I think these are both girls. And I think they have two different fathers, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's the same mother, two different fathers, because he only claiming one. I'm pretty sure he's hurt about, both of them, because I'm pretty sure, he knew both of them existed. But from the way it's worded and the fact that he's concerned with only one girl, I'm guessing only one was his daughter. And as you can see, woman 28 arrested for murder. So it's going into the mother, but I'm reading a little bit more. It says, I've been looking for my daughter for 5 years and been calling CPS, going to the courts, trying to get emergency custody, calling the police for welfare checks, but they denied all access, Chapman alleged. On Monday, she and her half-sister, they call her the half-sister, and the only reason they say that is because they have different fathers, but the same mother. And I'm pretty sure in this world, they would have said the same thing if they had the same father and different mothers, which, these children, they have two different fathers, and that's not supposed to be. But it says, on Monday, she and her half-sister, Amora Wilson, 10, were found dead and partially buried after a neighbor walking his dog near a field in the area of East 163rd and Midland Avenue called 911 after his dog picked up a scent. Cleveland police on Wednesday detained a person of interest whom officers later identified as Aaliyah Henderson, 28, near the crime scene. And that's the picture of her, Eve, Records show Henderson was booked into Cuyahoga County Jail on Wednesday evening. According to Chapman, the little girl's mother had been avoiding him and moving around a lot. The last time he said he saw her was when he helped buy clothes for kindergarten. Chapman told 19 News that he is now working with detectives to prove he was Malia's father. I'm still in contact with the detectives. We're doing the DNA samples, so I'll get more details within the next couple of days. Chapman visited the site where his little girl's body was found with 19 News. What I'm feeling is hate. I'm not going to lie. I feel hate. I asked you on numerous occasions for my daughter. If it's too much for you, I just want my daughter, Chapman said when he asked how he felt. And I'm pretty sure this is his daughter. I don't know any man that would go to this extreme to be, put on, because they put pictures of him too, and I don't know if they recorded. I know it's a video above, but they showed a picture of him, looking at the grave. I'm pretty sure just no random man would go and claim to be the father of one of those children for no reason. It says Chapman, so overwhelmed by the sight, needed to be comforted by a friend. I don't know how you can hate your kids enough to kill them, to bury them, to do all this and go right there to that home, right there, and live there when your kids are right here. Go be a mother to another child while you just kill your other two. So I'm guessing she had more children. And it said she can go be a mother to the other children or other child, but she just murdered two of them. Now he tells 19 News that he wants changes to the system, which he said denied him a chance to be a father. Change these laws, make it better. A man have a say so in their child's life, married or unmarried. So, as you can see, Jake going through it, and I never experienced this, I don't have no children of my own yet, but I hope to never experience nothing like this if I did have some on this side before the kingdom came. But, this ain't gonna happen in the kingdom, This is not gonna happen in the kingdom because what we experiencing now is the effects of living under a wicked kingdom. We're experiencing the effects of living under Esau Edom. He has the control over the minds of the people, especially our women, and they took on his spirit. This is what Esau Edom. These are Edomite tendencies. Let me get a couple scriptures. First, I'll come back to that. Let's get Lamentations chapter 4, starting at 1. It says, "How is the gold become dim? How is the most fine gold changed? The stones of the sanctuary are poured out in the top of every street." Now, this is going into the nation of Israel, particularly the men. Because when Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua gave us the laws, statutes, and commandments and established us as his people, we were considered gold. He gave us the standard. He gave us a kingly standard to live by on earth so that we can rule the earth and be on top. And look how far we've fallen. We went from serving Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua to our people have no sense of spirituality at all and don't even believe in God. And we are the chosen people. We are the sons of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The ones that the Lord made the covenant with. And like I said, gave us the laws, statutes, and commandments. Promised us the kingdom of heaven. But look at our people now. How destroyed our people are. And I'm particularly talking about the men. So this is what the Lord is saying. How is the gold become dim? The most fine gold changed. Look how far we've fallen, from where we were. Verse 2. The precious sons of Zion, comparable to fine gold, how are they esteemed as earthen pitchers, the work of the potter's hand, or the work of the hands of the potter. It said we was comparable to fine gold, and now we like earthen pitchers. We look just like the other nations, not physically. Well, in some cases physically, but not physically, but morally. Spiritually and morally, we look like the other nations, acting just like them. We've fallen so far, and we are the spitting image of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. When we was keeping our laws, statutes, and commandments, it was like we was the spitting image of our Heavenly Father. Now we looking like the other nations, primarily Esau Edom. How far we have fallen. Verse 3. Now that's the men. It says, even the sea monsters draw out the breast. They give suck to their young ones. The daughter of my people is become cruel, like the ostriches in the wilderness. This is the point. The daughter of my people is going into the women. It said they have become cruel. Let's see what if it's anything different in the. As a matter of fact, let me get the commentary. I want to see what it say in the commentary. Now, this is Lamentations 4, 3, and 5. The cruelty of Zion's deprivation or deprivation. Even the jackals present their breasts to nurse their young, but the daughter of my people is cruel, like ostriches in the wilderness. The tongue of the infant cleaves to the roof of his mouth for thirst. The young children ask for bread, but no one breaks it for them. Those who ate delicacies are desolate in the streets. Those who were brought up in scarlet embrace ash heaps. Now it says, the daughter of my people is cruel. Jeremiah lamented the cruelty of those exiled and those remaining. They seemed worse than jackals and more like ostriches in the wilderness, who were thought to be cruel to their young being the children. Now let me see. Let's see what another one say. Commentary. This is the commentary for 3. It says, little children were starved for want of bread and water, verses 3 and 4. The nursing mothers have no meat for themselves, had no milk for the babies at their breasts, so that though in this disposition they were really compassionate, yet in effect they seemed to be cruel, like the ostriches in the wilderness that leave their eggs in the dust. Having no food for their children, they were forced to neglect them and do what they could to forget them, because it was a pain to think to them to think of them when they had nothing for them. In this, they were worse than the seals or sea monsters or whales, as some render it. For they drew out the breast and gave suck to their young, which the daughter of my people will not do. Children cannot shift for themselves as grown people can, and therefore it was more painful to see the tongue of the suckling child cleave to the roof of his mouth for thirst, because there was not a drop of water to moisten it, and to hear the young children that could but just speak ex-parents of their ex-bred of their parents, who had none to give them, no, nor any friend that could supply them. As doleful as our thoughts are of this case, so thankful should our thoughts be of the great plenty we enjoy and the food convenient we have for ourselves and for our children and for those of our own house. So it's going into how devastating, the judgment was on our people at that time, and it's coming again. It's going to be even worse than that for what's to come as Jacob's troubles intensifies, as the time intensifies. But just going into the cruelty of our women now, our women will neglect and even, as you can see, murder their own children and don't think nothing twice about it. Don't even care, try to continue on, try to hide it. Just like Eve last year, she, I forgot as how long it was, but she had, I think it was her niece and nephew in the trunk of her car, dead for a while, and tried to hide it. I forgot exactly how long they was in there trying to hide it. It was so, it had a horrible smell. That's how long they was in there. They was riding in the back of the trunk, and all the bags and everything she had them in. And it was so devastating that the cops, when they seen them, man, they was traumatized behind that. Seeing those bodies of those children and smelling that smell, But this is just how far our people have fallen. So going back, and then another thing, because he was, matter of fact, let me get this first. 2 Peter chapter 2, 3 and 13. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. See, this is what we have hope in. We don't have hope in this world. We don't look for change in this world. We're not asking for change in this world. Change the system so it can benefit and cater to us. We don't care about this system. We want all this stuff to be destroyed. That's why we happy that the war is going on. World War III is amplifying even more and more. That's why we happy. Because when this world is ushered out, or when this world vanishes, the kingdom of heaven appears. It starts the moment this kingdom is destroyed, and Yahushua returns. So this is what we looking forward to, because everything we experiencing, all the evil and wickedness and oppression and pain that we experiencing on this side, we'll never experience it again. That's that Revelations 21. This is Revelations 21. start at the top. Let's see. And I read in the AMP. Then I saw a new heaven and a new earth. See, this is the same thing that in 2 Peter's. A new heaven and a new earth, meaning a new rulership, not an actual new heaven and an actual new earth being created. A new rulership. For the first heaven and the first earth had passed away, vanished, and there is no longer any sea. So it means the old rulership is gone. It says, whereas heaven is the abode of the Most High, the sea often represents the abode of evil. See? So it was this place, Babylon the Great, is going to diminish. It's going to be completely wiped out, where all this evil and wickedness is taking place and spreading throughout the four corners of the earth. You got westernization going across the whole earth, polluting the minds of all the people. This place is going to be completely wiped out. Like I say, passed away, destroyed by thermonuclear missiles. Now, 2, and I saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, which is a people before it's a place, because right after the destruction, the actual city or kingdom of heaven, the actual buildings and where people, where we're going to dwell at, that has to actually be built. So it's not saying the actual building is going to come out of heaven, but it's talking about the elect going to come down from them chariots. So John said, and I saw it, the holy city, New Jerusalem, come down from out of heaven, from the Most High, arrayed like a bride adorned for her husband. And then I heard a loud voice from the throne saying, see, the tabernacle of the Most High is among men. Right, because the Most High deals with men. He ain't dealing, he don't go through women or use women to go out and prophesy and do the work. No, that's not the woman's job. The woman's job is to serve the man, but the Lord deals with the men. That's what he did. That's why I said the tabernacle of the Most High is among men, or it's with men in the KJV. And he will live among them, and they will be his people. And the Most High himself, which is Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, will be with them as their God. Right. Now, verse 4, and he will wipe away every tear from their eyes, and there will no longer be death. There will no longer be sorrow and anguish or crying or pain, for the former order of things has passed away. So this is what we're looking forward to. The former order of things will be passed away. We will be immortals, and we won't ever have to experience what we experience on this side ever again. Because that's truly a sad story. If all of this is 100% true, and he was actually trying to get custody of his daughter, and he was trying to find her, and this woman kept moving around trying to keep him out of contact with his daughter, just for him to find out that his daughter's dead, 5 years later, and he ain't even get a chance to see her. His daughter ain't get a chance to be around him. That's horrible, But the last thing that he said, or the last thing on here, where it says, I'm reading it again. Now, he tells 19 News that he wants changes to the system, which, again, the system ain't going to change. A new heaven and a new earth wherein the will of righteousness. That's the system that's going to change. This former kingdom is going to fall, or this kingdom we living in is going to fall and be destroyed, never rise again. The kingdom of heaven is going to be on earth, and it's going to dwell forever. That's the system change. It says, which he said denied him a chance to be a father. Change these laws, make it better. A man have a say-so in their child's life, married or unmarried. And in our kingdom, every Israelite man and woman will have children. Every Israelite child will have their father in their life. We will no longer be under the curses. Never again will we be under the curses. And every Israelite man and woman will have children. And it's going to be, there won't be no more divorce either, because even the way divorce works is completely wrong. When you divorce, or if you're not married with the woman that you had children with, the state, or, they give the woman 9 times out of 10, they get a woman custody of the children. They might not give her full custody. It might be joint, or, whatever the case may be. It depends on the situation, but they give the woman more or primary custody of the children for the most part. That's not how it's supposed to be. The children belong to the men. The women, in the case of divorce, the women don't leave with anything. They don't get half of what the man has. There was no system of prenups in in the laws, statutes, and commandments to try to keep women from taking something that you already built before her. No, whether you built it before or with her, if y'all divorce, she leaves with nothing, you know? And that also encouraged women to not want to leave their man and to stay together, you know? Because when you leave in your financial support, your social support or social status, all that diminishes when you leave with that man. I remember what I was going to get. I remember what I was going to get, and I always forget where it's at. Let me see. It might be this verse. No, that's not it. It's in I think it's Deuteronomy 30. If I'm not mistaken, where because it says specifically in the I think it's the NLT, either the NLT or the NIV, where the Lord, he gon', let me see if I can do this. Okay, it's it's Deuteronomy 7. That's what it is. Let me get in the NLT. It's Deuteronomy 7. I think, was it 14? Yeah, Deuteronomy 7 and 14 in the NLT. You will be blessed above all the nations of the earth. None of your men or women will be childless, and all your livestock will bear young. So in the kingdom of Yahweh Ba'ashem Abashah, it says none of your men or women will be childless. We will have children, and we will have an abundance of children, as pertaining to Isaiah 60. We'll have an abundance of children in the kingdom of heaven. And you couple that what we read in Revelation 21, where it talk about we'll never experience death, pain, crying, sorrow, grief. We ain't gonna experience none of that. We're gonna get to actually enjoy our families in the kingdom of heaven, because that's something that Israelites, primarily the southern kingdom, but our people in general, we don't get to enjoy our families. You know, families that, in a lot of cases, you got children being made or born or created, children being created, but families not being created. Because I seen a post earlier, probably yesterday, where it was like you see a lot of baby showers, but not a lot of marriages, which the modern day marriage is off the way they have it, the system. A man bowing down, asking a woman, putting a ring on her finger, asking her to marry her. That's not how marriage works, and that's ceasing, but true marriage, all of that is going to be established in the kingdom of heaven, and it's going to be beautiful. Weddings will be beautiful. Marriage will be beautiful in the kingdom of heaven. Everything that we want and how we want life to go, it's going to be established in the kingdom of heaven. So that's why we desperately want it to be established. That's why we happy that this kingdom is falling. It's finna be destroyed, So things like what what Jake just experienced or what he's experiencing, and all the rest of our people experience, it won't ever happen again. So, I don't want to drag it on. That was the point. The Lord will was edifying. So on that note, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS that rule well. Peace, love, and salutations to all the brothers out there pushing this word of sincerity and the truth. Shalom to the brothers, sisters, and children out there keeping this word of sincerity and the truth. Until next time, shalom.